Hey everybody, welcome back to Pocket Proverbs. Today we have an ancient Chinese proverb, and it says, "It is difficult to catch a black cat in a dark room, especially when it's not there." Now this is a really good one. How many times in our lives do we look for something that doesn't really exist? So a real life example that I'm sure we could all relate to is we may be in a group of people, whether we're just hanging out or you overhear somebody else maybe at work, and somebody makes a comment, and you are very bothered by that comment, and either you take offense to it, you think they're talking about you, or that somebody's mad at you because of something they said, and maybe you interpreted it incorrectly, or maybe you interpreted it correctly. But sometimes, we interpret things incorrectly that we hear, that we see, and so we make a mountain out of a molehill. And little things that people say when they're not meaning anything by it, they really aren't. We latch onto it and we say, this person said this about me, they wronged me, and I need to figure out why, or I need to confront them about this. And when in reality, there's nothing to it. And looking for a problem when there's really not a problem in a given situation, sometimes we will create the problem, or we'll create even a worse problem. But I know personally, the whole thing of somebody saying something to you and misconstruing it into something else, I've done that. 100% guilty. Somebody makes a comment, or I hear somebody talk to somebody else about something, and I take it as a slight against me when it never was to begin with. I just was either insecure in myself about something, or I just misheard, or for some reason was all bent out of shape, and I turned that little molehill into a giant Mount Everest. And, when I went to talk to somebody about this situation, I wasn't combative or belligerent. I was like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is the way I'm feeling, that you said this or did this. And they come back and like, oh my gosh, I never meant for any of that. That's not at all what I meant. And then you feel kind of silly because it's like, oh, well, I don't really know what my expectation was of the outcome of that. But, you just feel a little bit silly afterwards. And so this is kind of maybe a word of caution that whenever you do feel that you've been wronged, or that you've been slighted or insulted, just, take just a minute or two or 20 or a day or two and just reflect and think, okay, is there basis to what person may be saying or doing? Is there reason why they might be saying this, and why I'm maybe interpreting it a certain way? And just think about it. The worst thing you can do is just rush into a situation and say, I can't believe you said this about me. I knew you were a backstabber, and I knew you were out to get me. And it turns out that's not at all what was going on. And you just make yourself look like a fool. And so I thought this was a fun one just to think about, because how many times do we make issues out of non-issues? And it's human nature. But hopefully we can rise above that, avoid that a little bit. And so hopefully y'all enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you did down in the comment section below. Let me know if you have any thoughts, any proverbs, any pieces of advice you'd like me to share. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.